Hello to my favorite peeps. How are you? So, we had Easter, the Passover. And I had to think about that story. I was reading I don't know a lot about Judaism. Judaism, I don't know how you pronounce it in English, the religion of Jewish people, and how they went for 40 years through the desert. And that was hard because some of them, they were all slaves in Egypt. And then Moses said, let's go to the promised land, to Israel, but we'll have to cross the Sinai desert, and that took them 40 years. So that means that a lot of people who start to go from slavery to freedom, they didn't get there. They died by the time they get there. Their kids would have then had the benefits of that. So it was a very long time to keep having faith that better times are coming. And many of them were angry and said, I would have rather stayed enslaved and be a slave, because that's what I knew and I could live with it. And here we never know what's next. Reason I'm talking about that, as I heard that story, and I heard it with bits and pieces before, Marianne Williamson talks about that in relation to A Course in Miracles. And it's like hot and cold here, hot and cold, so I have some scarf around me, but not sure. And I have a new stone. It's called Fool's Gold. It looks like real gold, but it's fool's gold. As I said, I was thinking all these things that have been coming through, and I might be repeating myself, it's all shifting into a new paradigm. So let's say we were enslaved by the ego ways, the things that we know, this is how things have to be for me to be happy. It's all about me, this is my needs, my this, my that. Going to liberty, where you liberate yourself from your small ego, and where you come to your true self, your higher connection with that what you really are, and where you turn basically from base metal into gold. It's alchemy, it's transformation, liberation, it's the phoenix rising from the ashes. And as I was the other day watching something, I watch sometimes with one eye Netflix with my husband, but my other hand needs to do something else. It doesn't catch all my attention. This drawing came up. I think I posted it on my Instagram account. And it's like, this is like where you're climbing out. It's like we're here in this darkness and then climbing out through, it's like many lifetimes. Constantly, you see it on the screen, could be each time you're getting out of it. But we are getting out of it. We are coming to that different way that we can be. It's that the darker nights of the souls happening, and that's where you each time you sometimes have to break things. Even an Easter egg, you have to break it to eat it and enjoy it. And an egg, and I don't eat eggs anymore, not after I read the thyroid healing. I stopped eating eggs. But if you have Epstein-Barr virus, try it. I find it makes a difference. No, I'm not eating eggs. But yeah, sometimes I'm certainly eat. Sometimes you have to be really pushed through your desert, through all these challenges, through the things that are horrible to go through, to realize that they're not that horrible at all. They're horrible in your mind. So the most important part is to trust and to build your trust muscle, and to keep saying, I know that this is something great. And it might feel uncomfortable, Like when you go to the gym and you train your muscles, at points that can feel really uncomfortable. And the next day, but you know, you're building muscle, that you're building your resistance, resilience to things, and that you also at the same time let go of that what weighs you down. Your fat gets transformed into muscle. And the same thing what's happening here is, I start talking, I get warmer because I get all warmed up. So what's happening now is all your fat is being removed, your blocks, the things, the old way of thinking, your Newtonian patriarchic way is being decomposed, so you can get to that next level of you, so that you can become more lighter, more joyous, and have a higher vibrational level, higher in megahertz. You should be able to measure that difference where you really go, I can feel it. I am breathing more freely. I am being more me. This is what I really am. You have been for many years pretending to be what people taught you to be. You know, your parents, your teachers, your society, your friends. Go, oh, this is, you know, how you should look. This is what you should eat. This is what you should wear. It's all the same thing. And now you come to that point that you go like, nah. I want to be everything that I don't need. I want that to be removed. I want to let go of my blocks, things that are holding me back. And I want to turn into the real me. And I want to have that connection, that deeper connection to my soul. I want to have life purpose. I want to have soul connection. And that's the freedom. That's the freedom of the Israelites that they were looking for in Israel, leaving Egypt behind, going through the desert for 40 years. We don't have to go through it for 40 years. To find that freedom, that liberation, that where you are your own, where you have your own sovereignty. Sovereignty, you say that? Where you're sovereign in your being, where you're authentic. So yeah, there's some hardship, and it's the you know, the way they form diamonds is under pressure. It's charcoal under pressure, and then it comes out all nice and shiny. Or even crystals. Crystals are formed through pressure layers. Good wine comes from crushed grapes, but don't look at it in a negative way. I don't want you to go, oh, I'm a victim and it's gonna happen. No. I want you to go like, I'm just letting go of another layer. This, if it's taken away from you, it means something better is there for you. And keep that faith. If there's one thing I can keep saying over and over again, it is gonna be just fine. I quite often talk with people that are dead, and all the worries they had when they were alive, and then they die. Like, really? Did I worry about it? It's all fine. There was nothing to worry about the whole time. And I just made my life miserable, worrying about things that weren't there and that didn't matter anyway. So don't die with your music in you, because that's what people regret. If you don't do the things that you really feel like, this is my calling, this is what I need to do. And yes, it can be difficult. I'm writing at the moment, and this, although it's a creative process, it gets romanticized. It can be a bloody hard job to sit there, and the words sometimes don't come, and think, oh, I can't write this, and maybe I should write it that way. And this is ugly process. Even when I paint, there's always a time you go through the ugliness of it all, and you're thinking, oh no, this is never gonna be any good. But that's ego. That's the ego trying to keep you down, trying to keep you low. So recognize it. When it's, it's never gonna be good. It's never gonna. When it's always and never, those words, ego, big flag. Oh, my ego is flaring up. And when people say the same to you, you never or you always, just send them love, because that's what they're asking for. Their ego, their little child is asking to be loved, to be appreciated. And for yourself, start with self-love. You can't give from an empty cup. And I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Have an amazing week, and see you next time. Bye for now.